This week's trading is the 17th to the 21st. Let's get started. Risk disclaimer. We know there's risk in trading. Please and always use trade capital only. Do not trade with the money you can't afford to lose, whether you're trading stocks, options, futures, forex, cryptos, whatever it is. You know the deal. Social media, make sure it's me, youtube.com/Chris Pulver, Mondays and Fridays. Check out the YouTube channel, Trading 101. Keep it seriously simple. Tons of videos in there. Over the weekend, I just started a Discord channel. I'll share that. It's also in my description for my YouTube channel. I'll get to there in just a moment when I start chatting with everybody. Actually, let me see. It's right here. Let's see. We're good on the social. Let's go here. Let me bring up the Discord channel here. All right. So Discord channel is Chris Pulver Trading. Free channel invite. I think I posted this in my YouTube, but I'll go ahead and get the invite here. This link doesn't expire, so I'll copy this, throw this in YouTube, and say hello to everybody. All right, log in.
Before you buy $1 million view like this.
One. Boom. Okay. Free. Join my Discord channel. There we go. So the link's in there. That's kind of the one-stop shop. So anytime I go live on YouTube, it'll pop up in here. I'm going to start, taking what I've been writing for Substack, and I'm considering I'm going to try to become a contributor to Seeking Alpha. I did, Investopedia, FX Street back in the day, equities.com, a couple of outlets like that, FXTC Magazine. So I'm just going to take stuff like that, post that, and start doing a blog. Twitter, need to get more active on a day-to-day basis. Not that hard. I just, I trade way more than I publish content. So to me, obviously, that's way more important. But obviously, the market's opening bell 9:30, closing bell 4 p.m. So there's time before, there's time after. And anyway, I would appreciate if you'd come check it out. If there's any questions or issues, I mean, I'm giving a lot of people permissions on the free channel just to chat and type and put up a bunch of stuff, which is great. And then the other stuff will just kind of be pulling from the other content. So this helps me get everything posted in one spot, as opposed to going to this website, posting here, this website, posting here, this website, posting here. This makes this a lot easier. Okay. All right. Let's get to the chart. So we're at 449.60 opening bell for the SPY. Big levels this week to keep an eye on. 450. This is going to be a monthly expiration for the stock market. We have a lot of earnings this week as well. Let me check on that. Morning, Chris. FK, good morning. David, good morning. Ranjit, good morning. Jacob, what's happening? Catherine, good morning. Don, good morning. All right, all the way from Swaziland. Nice. Morning, Gary. Let me log into, I'm going to look at StockTwits earnings this week. Should have some notables. We're getting back into earnings season. So I'm going to double check the chat right here. Weekend rip. What's going on? Let's see. Bullets, economic calendar. Earnings this week. This is what I was looking for right here. Yep. Got a decent amount. 147 companies, some notables. Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Tesla, Netflix, TSM. Is that semiconductors? Yep. Taiwan Semiconductors, which if you've, been paying attention to all this year, NVIDIA is one of the best performing stocks. Micron Semiconductors, TSM. There's been lots of them. If you look at the heat map, semiconductors has been kicking butt this entire year. So let me grab a screenshot of this, just highlight some notables and some days. Tesla is on Wednesday after market close. Netflix is on Wednesday after market close. We're going to see if earnings continue to kind of support the backdrop of a more bullish market. We're coming into this full week of trading ahead of the Fed next week. So here is a screenshot. If you want me to post this, let me turn this into a hyperlink for everybody. I'll post this on YouTube. So Bank of America is tomorrow morning before open. Morgan Stanley before open. Charles Schwab, Lockheed Martin, JB Hunt all before open. I missed my link there. Goldman Sachs is before market on Wednesday. Tesla, Netflix after market close on Wednesday. Blackstone, that'll be a big one. It's not BlackRock, but Blackstone's still a big one. Newport Mining, NEM, we have some plays in that with equities on demand. Freeport, McMoran, FCX, we have some plays with that. I'm going to start looking. I think I'm going to start looking bullish on FCX. We might take a look at that one this week. Johnson & Johnson. Let's see. American Express. Tesla Legs Consumer. Schlumberger SLB. That's been an energy play. We've been in and out of the last couple of years. So, all right, let me put this in YouTube here. Earnings summary this week. 147 companies, and we're just going to see more and more over the coming weeks. All right, so 449.60. Let's see where price can go today. We're sitting at a $3.86 10-day average for the SPY. Like I said, on Friday is going to be the 21st. Is a big monthly expiration. We do have several 7/21 expirations here. I'm showing 37 in my notes. I know in our equities on demand we have 25. Some we've managed. Some are not really an issue. Some are already going to be in full profit. Some like SLV, the dollar's been getting hit real hard. So SLV is up to 22.63. We have a 23 by 22 that should be in profit. I think last week, did we close that one? I don't remember if we closed SLV for break even or better. I think we did. If we didn't, we're looking at that this morning. SLV closing for break even. Yep. So it'd be a small profit right now or just wait. Well, wait until class and we'll probably close it out for a few dollars, but we close that one out. We have staggered credit spreads. Overall, I still have some ownership of SLV that's up. My break even's around $17, so I'm sitting up $5.50 a share, but I'm pretty bullish on this overall. Dollar index, this has been the big story for the last 5 or 6 trading days. We had a massive drop to the downside. This is going to be an interesting week for the dollar. I'd say that the bears are unless this is this is a very unique. Let's call it a bear trap. Hypothetically, let's say it's a bear trap. Okay. If this is a bear trap, that's a violent way to do it. Having 6 or 7 days in a row dropping. The percentage wise, you don't see this a lot in currencies, but that drop over 3.8% in about 6 or 7 trading days is incredible. Now that being said, I'd say the bears are in control. Unless we get a close back above, we'd probably have to close all the way back above 102 for me to say, well, hang on a second before we start selling the dollar. So if we just have this crazy U-turn to the upside and this thing just rips back to 102, and even if it comes back to 101 into 101, 102 zones, you can see how that's still a rejection, right? The one thing that I would be watching with this, I'd be watching commodities. So continue to keep your eye on oil and gold and silver. You can look at the Bloomberg Commodity Index. You can look to see if things are just going to rip because a weaker dollar is a perfect landscape for stronger commodities. And, commodities have been beat up really badly. I'll show you that Bloomberg. Let me go Bloomberg Commodity Index. So AW Commodity Index Futures. Let's see if this is the one that I want. Yep, this is it. So AW1. We finally put in a higher low back in June. This thing from the peak here in June of last year, that was really peak inflation as well. So as inflation numbers have been coming down, commodities have been declining in price. Now, if that's going to change a little bit, there's some structure in there that we could still range, right? It doesn't mean that we're in a bull market or anything on commodities, but you can see on the daily time frame something very simple. Are we going to close above the 200 EMA? Are we going to close above this trend line? If this commodity index gets above, let's say 107, 108, then we're probably putting in a floor, or at least we're putting in a bottom and we could range from there, right? We could break the trend line and come back and retest the trend line, but we can put in at least a floor, right? Whether we have a bull market depends on the dollar. So let's have a look. DXY again, looking like right away we're going to have some dollar strength, at least in the short term, but we don't have any crazy news this week for the calendar. Next week's going to be the big week. A couple of things going on next week on the 24th, which is Monday. 24th Monday is going to be a rebalancing for the NASDAQ. All the big, your big five essentially take up, 43% of the index, market cap weighted. So that rebalancing will bring it back down to 40% or less. And then if you take the top 10 stocks, that puts us up near 60% of the market cap is weighted in 10 stocks. So you have a rebalancing going on Monday. I'm curious how that affects the Qs short term and the NASDAQ short term. The 26th is the Fed FOMC rate decision. That's most likely going to be, I think it's baked in with the 90+% probability with the CME watch tool for the Fed. That's going to be a rate hike, 96.1%. So it's there, and then the next one we have, so we skip August, we have September expected to be a pause. Okay, November, you can again see high probabilities there. November, there is a little bit of a potential rate hike on the table, but a low probability, still expected to pause. December expected to pause. January, as we roll into Q1 of next year, more pausing. It wasn't until March where we expected to see maybe some rate cuts. Okay, even March right now. Yep, March was the first month going into next year where we might see some cuts. Right? So anyway, dollar index is something really interesting to watch. The bears are certainly in control right now. I think pullback is fine, but it's a pullback for kind of rebalancing just very quickly. So if it was high, low, we pull back up here, and when we stall, I would be looking for more dollar weakness. It just this run from having a high low here, I know it's a shallow pullback, but it just seems like this structure is intact where the dollar can continue to drop towards 98, 97 with really, I mean, it's just money's going elsewhere, right? And it's been pretty wild, especially in July. I mean, this move was right in the heat of summer. Summer trading, you had this big breakout and really this summer trend, which is kind of atypical for the forex market, but it is what it is. So that's a dollar. Because of that, we've seen oil recently on a rip from $67 support. We really call that 65 support all the way up to the 200 EMA. So we're sitting right now at 74.50. Oil heading up towards 80. Really oil's got to get above $80 or else we just continue to trade in this range. So we have resistance here, okay? Resistance here right around $80 and support, really still here at 67 to 68. So maybe this structure doesn't change a lot on oil. If oil comes right back down into the high 60s, maybe the dollar catches some bid this week to regain a little bit. If we go back to gold and silver, 1946, nice little trend line break. I looked at gold as heading back up into this yellow zone right around 1975. I still think it's vulnerable to the downside. I personally would like to see gold, come back to 1830 or so, maybe even come back down to 1700 before we get another big rip to the upside. And all that really is a range. That's all it is. So we have these, major highs up here, major lows down here, and we have the midpoint. So if this is high to low, we pull back for a flat pattern. If gold, at best hits 1975, 1980, and then starts to resist or hit a little bit of a downtrend, then maybe the dollar is going to catch bid, right? So we've had a lot of talks this year in the YouTube channel in the trading rooms where the dollar is going to be a major influence on a lot of things, influence on the stock market, influence on commodities. And what is getting priced in the dollar is going to be having a lot of pull. Okay, so I'm watching. I'm not a super big bull on gold at this point, but silver I'm long. Gold I'd like to see if we can get another. I'd like to hit the midpoint. I'd like to hit like 1850 if possible before I get like more interested. Silver on the other hand, silver I still like. Okay, quite a bit to the upside. $717 on the NQ this morning, first 2 minutes. Fantastic. Done for the day. Love that. Yeah, that's awesome. Nothing like a little NASDAQ futures trading. Silver, I still like this bull channel. I'm willing to take more levels down here at 1950 down to $14. My target on silver, I own SLV as far as the shares essentially, getting up to $28, $29. Wave 3 symmetries all the way to 35. I would say, I don't know, I'm probably 50-50 on whether I hold it to there. If we come back up to 29, I have not covered this in a while, but I probably could put in like a $24.50 to $25 covered call this week and maybe get away with it and try to lower my cost basis a little bit, not by a ton, but I don't want to get rid of the stock. I mean, I could roll it. I could obviously go out further, but my goal is if I'm going to get the stock called away, 17 break even, lower the stock price a little bit, get it called away at 29 or 30. That'd be a nice little increase in total profit. SLV is one of my bigger positions. I've got, in my personal account, I've got a few hundred shares. So I think I have 400 or 500 shares of SLV with a bunch of credit spreads as well that are all sitting at like $20 and $21 and $22. So overall, I like some silver. All right, gold, silver, we did. Oil, we did. Let's go crypto sides. Check some Bitcoin. 30,000. Okay, so we had another poke of these highs last week. Got all excited. Came back down. Ripple had a big week last week. It's starting to give some back. Got a chart alarm set at 32. Chart alarm set at 29.3. This is really just more of a spot check. Just coming in, taking the pulse of Bitcoin. Are we breaking anywhere? No. So bull flag is still alive and well. It looks less and less like a bull flag if this goes longer, right? I mean, a bull flag is usually we have this big impulsive move, and then we have this brief pause for maybe on a daily time frame. You could probably have a couple of weeks, right? And then we'll see who's motivated to take it higher, or if the pattern fails, it drops. So let's see how long this goes. But again, that level, that's what I'm watching. Ethereum, same type of thing. We haven't poked the highs or anything. We're still quite a bit off those highs. Litecoin, actually, I'll go to Ripple. This one had a big week last week. We're trading at 73 cents. We just had this huge day to the upside from 47 cents all the way up to the highs of 95 cents. And now we're just kind of stuck. So this could be one of those little tuning fork moves where you have a low, you have a high, and then the market just kind of finds some equilibrium in here. So maybe it forms some inside candles. Maybe we have a bit of a wedge, and also maybe it just pulls all the way back to where we started. We broke out here with some inefficiencies around 55 cents, so maybe it pulls back there. But if we can hold this area, in here and then start gaining to the upside, I mean, this was as high as $3. So if all of a sudden the story and commentary change on Ripple, hopefully for the better, then sure, let's see this thing get some love. But not sure. We'll find out. Okay. All right. Let's go to some currencies. Currency strength this morning. CAD's getting stronger. The Swiss and the yen dropping from being two of the strongest currency pairs of the morning. CAD's catching some bid. Yen's actually dropping pretty hard. We'll look at those in a second. Aussie, New Zealand were the weakest coming into the session this morning. So let's go Aussie CAD. I still am long Aussie CAD. I like these levels. I'm still going to trade it up to the highs at 95. Aussie Swiss, we poked the lows, but I'm still buying. Still watching, still buying. Yen crosses, continue to watch short term. Aussie New Zealand, I'd like to buy more if we come back into 105.50 or lower. Aussie dollar, we had a broadening pattern. We took a long trade at 67, took profit at the highs at 69. CAD Swiss, again, tested the lows. This is a great spot to be long. The way this thing dropped, we have 2 weekly pivots in a row. We've got a lot of pockets and inefficiencies to the downside. So a CAD Swiss long at equal lows, I think, looks pretty tasty. I like that trade a lot, actually. I took a trade in this last week during one of my live webinars. Let me see how that's doing right now. So it's got to be up. I mean, I know we had some fresh lows. I might have been filled. I think I spaced this one out by 100 pips. Let me check. I know I'm also dollar Swiss long. I took these in a couple of live webinars last week. So 86.16, I took a trade around 85.90. We had lows at 85.60. We still didn't come down to my 85.50. It's okay. CAD Swiss is right here. Let me see what got filled on CAD Swiss. Just logging in right now. Positions. CAD Swiss. Let's see. Trades. Okay, so I got filled at right around 6,500, and that's about it. And I've got the other ones at 64 and 63. So those are, I have a bigger position built on CAD Swiss. This is just more of the non-FIFO. I was taking some extra trades, kind of leveling into these lows, and we've got some good pockets pivot to get back to. So I'm long right now, and I'm actually long much more like medium long term. I mean, my CAD Swiss I'm willing to hang on to up here. But if I have a non-FIFO trader, I just add in a couple of trades at these lows and it pops back up into some of these pockets and inefficiencies and pivots, then I'll take some short-term profit there, keep that built into the base, and then just hold for, I keep talking about this in the flex trading room. I'm looking for some bottoms. What do we need to see to form a low? If this is a double bottom, great. Well, there's my center high. So if we come all the way back up here to the high, and then we break above this 200 EMA, that's the bottom that we measure, right? We measure that move, we project that symmetry. There's my profit. So that's my CAD Swiss. CAD Yen, pulling back on the trend line. Be careful on the yen cross. Stick with short term. Swiss yen, same thing. We're back up to the highs. At some point, this Swiss yen is going to be great. I just think the easy trade is wait for the right side of the trend line. If you want to get short, Euro Aussie, nothing. Euro CAD. Euro CAD. Wow, look at that thing. Euro CAD, this is interesting. Came right back into that pocket to fill. CAD Swiss, I like long at this level, and Euro CAD's probably looking good for a short. So I can see Euro CAD at this recent level right here. If we have a good week for CAD Swiss long, we have a good week for Euro CAD short. That would be the correlation. Euro CAD short could get us down to like 4650 or 4600. Like I said, I'm just opting to stay long with a lower volatility pair like CAD Swiss and enjoy that positive swap. Euro Swiss catching some bid at 96 and change. Maybe a bit of a trap in here where we came below 97, but we just poked it. Again, looking for a bottom. If the bulls on the Euro Swiss can take out this high, then we might look at a reversal pattern, inverse head and shoulders, crown pattern, something like that. That could be my A, B, C, right? This would be my A, this would be my B, and my C. And then we'd project that symmetry up towards 103. Okay, Euro pound, no trade. Euro yen, short term, popping back up like the Swiss yen, Euro New Zealand. Range bound right now, highs around 108, lows around 1.75. Euro dollar 12.17. Dollar index, if it turns, euro dollar is going to turn as well. So if the dollar index turns sharply, and how sharp? I mean, the dollar index could turn, and the euro dollar could maybe come back into 111 and even 110. I don't know if this is coming all the way back down here or not. That if it is, that again is a pretty nasty trap. That's a nasty fake out if that is the case. But we'll find out. So if you were long in here on that euro dollar breakout, great. Moving stop losses as the bull scores some points above these highs and trapping at 111 plus. Worked out okay. But I wouldn't be looking greedy and trying to get long euro dollar at this point. I think that the longs already happened. Looking to see how the dollar behaves this week, especially going into, this week doesn't have a ton of news. Next week's FOMC. Pound Aussie, we'll look for a head and shoulders pattern up here near the highs. Pound CAD, this one busted through the highs. I'm not doing anything at this time. Pound Swiss, we had a pullback. I'm still long in this one overall, but holding. Pound Yen, right off the trend line break. Probably going to retest the highs. Pound New Zealand, we took some profit in this one. We sold this. We sold this one. I got stopped out at the highs and got back in with a bigger trade size and netted some profit last week. I'm done on this trade for right now. Pound dollar. I was looking for 130 to hold. We have daily resistance. Wow. This overstretched move, you don't see this a lot, but having divergence and overbought conditions on a daily time frame, to me, I think we just got ourselves a good looking trade on the pound dollar. So I could see the pound dollar coming back down again. Watch the DXY. Most of it's going to be, the DXY is heavily weighted with euro. So we have to keep an eye on that. All right. I have a feeling today's going to be somewhat quiet unless we get a close above 450 today on the spot. I'm just watching short-term stuff. British pound, New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD, I'm still long. I took some profit last week on this one. It was about 500 pips. Equal low in a trend line break. Filled this pocket right over here. So that was a nice little trade on New Zealand CAD to take some non-FIFO. I'm still long on it overall with a position, but that was nice to take a little profit injection last week. New Zealand Swiss, I'm still buying these lows. I'm willing to take this all the way down to 5,300 and possibly a round number like 5,000. It'd be something like this. Just waiting for a trend line, possible a falling wedge. and just let price kind of coil, actively looking for a bottom. If this coils, great. When this eventually this thing breaks, we're gonna rip and go a lot higher. So I want to see if we can hold these levels where they are. 5300s COVID crash lows, 5000 to be potentially a a round number flash low, something like that. But I'm gonna hold long and just focus on some carry trade. New Zealand dollar, no trade on this one. Dollar CAD using that support level once again. We just came back and retested lows, but you can see it snap back up. Dollar Swiss looks a lot like the dollar index. I put in some long trades down here, and I'm trading this back towards 87. I think that's really conservative. We can probably come all the way back to 88 plus. And again, actively looking for bottoms. If somehow the dollar Swiss comes back up here, takes out a high or takes out a high, looking for a reversal pattern, you can bet that I will be long on the dollar Swiss and trying to trade it back to 95. So again, it's a pretty straightforward move. I mean, if the bulls cooperate, we come back here, then we measure that. We have a 3-wave, we have a 5-wave, But without that, then we're just guessing. So let's see what price does. At the very least, I'm long right now for some short term. Pull back to this level, find some efficiencies, and then we'll actively start looking for how this thing wants to bottom. But it's coming into some 2015 lows, even potentially down to 2011 lows as all-time historical lows on dollar Swiss. Dollar yen traded back to 139. This severe damage on the dollar yen might already be done. Let's see how this cooperates. If this closes back above the trend line, there could be another retest of the highs. But I also think that this could be just slowly retracing. And then we have, I think Bank of Japan is coming right out after the Fed. I know it's almost 10 o'clock and I got to run here, but let's go to the calendar for this week and next week. So this week's calendar. Let's see here. Quiet day. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. This week. So this week is all CPI data. We have CAD CPI data, retail sales out of the U.S., CPI for the pound, Aussie employment. So it's CPI this week. Next week, like I said, we have the rebalancing on Monday for the Qs or the Nasdaq. We have PMI numbers coming out of the Eurozone. CPI out of Australia on Tuesday. Wednesday, I think this is a combination Wednesday, Thursday. FOMC expected to raise rates. ECB, I don't see any forecast here, but I'm curious if the ECB is going to raise rates on Thursday. We have advanced GDP and unemployment, ECB press conference, Bank of Japan Thursday to Friday. So that's a big lineup of central banks. Next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have Fed, ECB, and Bank of Japan. So currency markets should be really moving and shaking a lot next week as we wrap up that final week of trading for July. And officially, we have the month close on the 31st on Monday. So next week should be volatile. Let's see what this week offers as well. Maybe just a lot of rebalancing. We've had some, dollar especially, we had some aggressive pushes the last couple of weeks. So we could have some dollar rebalancing as we head back into the Fed on the 26th. But that combination of FOMC, ECB, and BOJ all on the 26th, 7th, and 8th. That's going to be a lot of baskets to watch, right? All the dollar pairs, all the yen crosses, all the euro pairs. Some good short-term volatility and good, I would say, expect daily trading ranges to be pretty high next week. Okay, like I was talking about here for the big monthly expirations, the open interest lies. I'm just looking at some of the big gamma levels. Your 440 on the SPY and your 450 on the SPY. Those are your two big levels. So if price is going to go somewhere by Friday, likely we're going to tap that 450 level, or we're going to drop all the way down to 440. Those are where the big levels lie. So right now we're trading right at 450. It's 449.70 and change. And if we close above 450, we could move up to 452 today. Still looking at measuring some of the the intraday levels. 386 is the daily trading range. So even if we go half that, that still puts us around $2 on the day, and price has gone pretty much nowhere. So let's see what we have for the open. Today's open probably right here, and that's 240 on the day. So 50% daily trading range right there. So we'll see. But from the open, I think 252 is doable. I think if we're gonna have a down day, 447 is doable. But like I said, 440 and 450, big levels this week. On the Qs, one more thing before we go. Right here, if I go QQQ and look at the options chain as well. So the QQQ, look at option prices, open interest lies at big levels, 385, 375. And right now the Q's live price, we're trading at 380. So the 380, the 375, 385. Big levels to watch for this week. Okay. So before we go, if you'd do a favor for me, click that thumbs up button for me, like the channel, I appreciate that. Also, if you want to join the Discord channel, I sent the link up above. Let me repost that. I'll just post that again. And that is going to be a spot where I can start putting all my content in one place. So all my YouTube videos will be in here, popped up here. I'll start taking my Substack rights and anything I'm contributing for my newsletter, any articles I'm interested in, anything I'd like to share. I'll start posting this in my blog section. Any tweets, I'll add these in here. So it just lets me repurpose my content into one place as opposed to, well, find me in all these different outlets. I mean, that's great, but I'm obviously most active on YouTube. And I'm going to try to, take all that type of stuff and put it here in Discord. So check it out. It's all free. If you want to comment and have some, yep, there you go. So thanks for joining in here. Wave to say hi, all that good stuff. Thanks, David. So check it out. Perfect. And this will be a good spot for everyone to chat. And then everything else, I'll just start repurposing that content. Awesome. Okay, sounds good, everybody. Have a good rest of the day. Equities on Demand students, let's switch over to the trading rooms. Let's have a good week in the trading rooms. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, flex. Monday through Friday for stocks and options, equities on demand. And I don't know if I get pulled into a bunch of webinars this week. Otherwise, we'll just focus on trading. Cool beans? All right, sounds good, everybody. I will see you in the trading rooms. All right, thanks. Bye.